smoke is quieting down. Seems like we've got to a lot of the smoke. Dub, you got smoke?
So in a recent Patreon episode called Bumps and Bruises, Joe Budden went crazy on the cast after they jumped on QueenzFlip for releasing sensitive information about their personal lives on the podcast. Now, Joe didn't like the way that they were ganging up on Flip and made sure to let them know. Look at the files.
You guys want to be rambunctious? Don't care about the order, shit. Go ahead, yell, scream, fuck what we was talking about. I was just getting from outside, so I don't even know what we got.
Nah.
I'm here. Well, I'm just listening. I don't give a fuck.
It's Imani, Ish, Ice jumped in, antagonizing me. No, for real. And Mel too.
I didn't do shit.
Antagonizing me, right? I'm telling them like, yeah, y'all niggas is playing around a little bit too much. They're saying, yo, if we do 50% of how you play around on here, you would have a temper tantrum.
The whole part.
All right, so cool. Then I told y'all niggas, okay, light it up. I'm doing it for podcasting. Period. If any time I say something, yo, Flip, you said something, Ice had checked me on something as a man. Yo, bro, don't do that.
How many times we had a conversation?
You be joking.
No, the fuck I don't. Tell me what I be joking about, nigga.
Yo, you be
What are you talking about?
How many times Mel asked you not to say something and you said it right away?
Twice.
You were twice live.
Twice times 10.
Last episode, twice.
Yeah.
Mel, you see, Mel know how to manipulate the system. Mel will say something right there. She know what I'm gonna do. She'll say something right there on a break, knowing what I'm gonna do.
But you don't have to do
I
that.
get you to be my mouthpiece. That's
She know what she doing. Y'all fall for her little traps. Don't fall for that trick. That shit is crazy. Cause if Mel told me something, yo, Flip, and never mention it. But the thing is, she like to cater to the people and play into it, like the damsel in distress. So that's her bag. I can let her have it.
I don't think
that's not true. I only say things when it's time to spice things up and it's for content. Nothing.
And he wouldn't have to do that if you niggas was spicy.
Nothing.
Joe, you can't say that.
Nothing.
Yeah, I'm with my
That's
man.
not fair.
Now I'm with
Nothing.
That's not fair.
No.
If you niggas added some
Because
fucking
let me tell you
spice,
something.
you wouldn't have to come try to spice
There's
shit up all the
there's
time.
niggas that sit on the
If you niggas
side.
wasn't dry
There's
as a
niggas that sit
fucking
on the
rock.
side. There's niggas that sit on the side and talk personal. And even if we do decide to want to try to bring it here, you know what everybody does in respect? Yo, you cool with me bringing that up?
That's true.
You want to
Or
talk
how we
about
gonna
it?
approach that?
How do we
How we
approach
br-
it?
Oh, you
How
know
do we
what?
maybe say it
Here.
in a way where it's not
I'll
direct? We
introduce
do
it
that.
so it don't look like
people
it's
come
this.
and share their personal shit, but we also give the respects of at least allowing you to feel comfortable to do so.
Let me ask you a question.
That's it.
Or we'll modify it to where we don't know who we talking about.
So QueenzFlip is dynamic, right, when it comes to the podcast, and we ain't gonna lie about that. Now, since he has joined the Joe Budden podcast, he has, breathed a new life into it. Outside of the constant back and forth between Joe and Ish, Flip is the one who gives the show an edge and gets the audience engaged with his unique energy and, what he got going on outside. Like, we like seeing, his outside endeavors. Flip made it clear to his co-host that he's doing all of this stuff for the sake of podcasting. And to be honest, that's exactly what the fans want. People don't want to tune in to watch boring content. Flip even gave the green light for his co-host to put his personal business out there too. But they seem to hold back as if they're worried if Flip's going to throw a tantrum if they do it, right? So the real question is, are they actually scared of Flip and his reactions? Like, it seemed like they scared of homie. You know what I mean? That's not good. Flip mentioned that Ice approached him about some of the things he said, and Imani approached him as well. But Flip clearly doesn't show Imani the same grace he shows Ice. And why? Right? Maybe it's because Imani came onto the podcast already a fan of Flip. Imani even did content with Flip on his network. So perhaps that extension of respect from Imani earned him disrespect from Flip. Right? Now, Ice, on the other hand, hasn't done any content with Flip and even joked that he still treats Flip like he's wearing a wire. Now, that's a real standoff dynamic for, two co-hosts. And it shows. It shows on the podcast all the time. Now, things got even spicier when Melissa Ford got involved. Melissa shares certain topics around Flip, but Flip feels like she's setting him up to air out her personal business on the pod. From his perspective, why else would she talk about these things around him? But Melissa claims that's not the case. She says Flip should give her the same respect he gives the other guys off camera or when they in the kitchen, right? But now Joe called cap on that. He's seen it play out for 2 years now and believes Melissa should know better than to share anything around Flip she doesn't want out there. Every time Joe sees Melissa talking to Flip, he thinks to himself, all right, she's doing it again. That's what he said, right? That's what Joe said. And Joe even dropped a bomb by saying Flip wouldn't even have to be doing all of this if the rest of the cast made the podcast spicy. Now, for months, I've talked on this platform about how Joe Budden doesn't really like when his co-hosts aren't performing at the level that they should. Now, Joe sometimes covers for them, saying that they all are playing their roles. But we all know he's lying. Joe hates it when people underperform. And this has been an issue since the Rory and Mal days. The only reason he doesn't go on full rants about it now is because these are his friends. And that brings a conflict of interest to the pod. Right? We all know that. But here's the wild part. Joe agrees that the cast is dry. And it's crazy that Ice admits to not sharing personal information and being so closed off on the podcast. And Joe just lets it slide. I don't understand that. Ish even called it out recently. It's almost like Ice has some serious dirt on Joe, and Joe just lets him do whatever he wants. Is Ice secretly the big bad wolf over there? It's starting to feel that way to Dub. You feel me? Now, Imani recently opened up about how they try to strategize what personal stuff to bring up on the show, right? He's like, they're modifying the conversation, not really giving the audience what they expect. Now, Joe put them on the ropes, and Imani spilled the beans, revealing that they're holding back in ways we didn't even realize. Now, with all of this heating up, the big question is this the beginning of the end for the big cast? Now, rumors are swirling that Joe might, cut a few people by 2025. We already know Flip won't be on the podcast as much because he has plans with AMP. And Joe warned him, if you think you're going to be, just coming here to air out the dirty laundry on the pod and dip, you got another thing coming. So what do you guys think? Is Flip really the heartbeat of the podcast now? Is Joe right to call out the rest of the cast for being too dry? Or is Flip pushing the limits by airing out their personal business? And do you guys think Ice has more influence behind the scenes than we realize? What you think about that? Could we be looking at the end of the big cast lineup? And what's next for Flip as he moves towards his other ventures? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We need to talk about this one. You feel me? Like, subscribe, all of that. And we'll be back with the files.
My guy Dub, too. That's my man, though.
Gang.
That's my man, Big Dub.